the other stream dropped. Big surprise. I might upload that one on YouTube. I found some shinies. I just didn't get a marked shiny on that stream that dropped. And if I upload it, it's mostly because of specifically went on some rants and I slowly figured out how to optimize my spot a little bit better. So this spot I'm standing in now is slightly more optimized and I can do the hunt quicker now. So I might upload that other one because I did find some shinies. They weren't marked, but I started to optimize, and I think my competitive rant that I went on was kind of valid because I just get kind of tilted at like competitive discussions where people sort of share a fucking brain cell, and if something is slightly abnormal, you'll get laughed out of discussions until a YouTuber or some kind of person who won Worlds a couple of times comes to the same fucking conclusion you did. Then all of a sudden, you're an idiot for not doing the thing. Even if the thing, as it were, is basically something that other people suggested. Because you can break the norm a little bit. To sort of finish the one part of the rant. Which, that's the other reason I might need to upload that. Because otherwise I would be sort of in this second stream doing like half a rant. And that would make no sense because I would be following up something I said, and if I didn't upload the other stream. You know, I don't want to do that all the time, but I was on a bit of a rant because I just ramble. It was basically just like, I've been in competitive discussions and stuff. And if you're slightly abnormal with a suggestion, even if your suggestion has some logic to it, you'll get people like, oh, unless you can provide a video and prove that you've won Worlds a bunch of times, like your idea is dumb. And then when a creator when a creator that has either won Worlds or just someone who does competitive content comes to the same. Alright. I think you're gonna line up a little bit more like this. Goddamn conclusion. Then all of a sudden you're an idiot for not doing the thing. And it's like, that fucking bothers me because you can't be outside of the norm. Even if your suggestion is pretty good, and I've had plenty of discussions about this kind of thing. Because I can do the ride generally in this little area, because I can ride and do the picnic. If you get in the corners, if you back up, that's what gets the spawns in here. I was trying to figure that out, and then I found some consistency to get a few of the clusters, but trying to, you know, finish my little rant there. I 100% creative sometimes isn't the best idea, and I've acknowledged competitive, and I've acknowledged logic, and I've told people the way stats and stuff work, and I acknowledge stats in Pokemon, and I get trying to be purely 100% different for the sake of it is not often a good idea, but at the same time, I feel like there are Pokemon and scenarios that are valid, but unless you're well known for your nonsense and consistency, your suggestions will never be seen as good unless you put them in a video or something to prove to people that your idea works. Because I've talked about stuff and I've went on some rants for just discussions of me trying to add to some community discussions. And getting tilted about suggestions. Like, a good suggestion, because I talk about it all the time. This was before Champions existed. But it's the perfect quantifier for why I go on these tirades, where redirection had picked up in usage in like Scarlet and Violet, and everyone was like, oh my god, redirection is so unfair, it's just so unfair. Oh, redirection is so dumb. Like, there's no way to stop redirection. You can't do it. These redirection teams just click the button and it's free wins. How do we stop redirect? Good, I found the exact corner. This is the... Okay. So, yeah, I need to back. Okay, I need to get in the dip then. If I get in that dip, this should be the super consistent mass spawn spot, or at least highly likely with one or two cases. But anyways, like, redirection, and I basically brought up, like, oh, you guys know Artralodon, that new Pokemon, has Stalwart, and Artralodon ignores redirection. You guys realize you could do that, right? And then you get all of these people that are like, no, that's a dumb idea. Why would we run Artralodon with Stalwart? And then people trying to be condescending assholes to me. It's like, my guy, you realize if your Artralodon has Stalwart, your body press does less damage, right? You know body press increases with stamina, right? You know if you have Stalwart, your body press doesn't increase, right? I was gonna run Aura Sphere. How fucking dare you? What fucking brainlet moron puts Aura Sphere on an Artralodon? That's just dumb. Why would you put Aura Sphere? That has no place in this meta. It's body press or nothing. And I'm like, because your special attack is higher? And if you run Aura Sphere, you can catch every fucking Artralodon in the damn game. If you run Aura Sphere as your fighting move of choice, because every Artralodon is going to have stamina and body press and shit, and if you can hit Artralodon on its weaker special defense side, even with an Assault Vest, and you just had these people just, like, they just couldn't fathom this Artralodon idea, and it just broke this discussion. And it's one of those breaking the discussion where it's like I said the most controversial thing alive, even though what I said is not a stupid idea. If you want to run an Artralodon and you don't like redirection, run Stalwart, run an Assault Vest, if you're running Stalwart and you're running an Assault Vest and you want fighting coverage, use Aura Sphere. Aura Sphere is a fighting move Artralodon has access to. If you want the fighting coverage and you're really that butthurt about it. Body Press is cool, I'm not saying it's not, but you have Aura Sphere. If you really want the option, an Aura Sphere is not a bad move. I know it's not going to get a boost, but, like, if you really want the fighting coverage, that's not that bad, honestly. Stalwart with Aura Sphere isn't a stupid idea. But, like, I said that, and I just, get this entire, just, how fucking dare you? Like, and it's just so stupid. And then, because it's the most obvious type of thing in the fucking world, because Stalwart ignores redirection, and redirection picks up and use, and there were some top teams that abused redirection. All of a sudden, a few people that were content creators came to the same obvious fucking conclusion I did, built a team around Artralodon, gave it Stalwart, used Artralodon with Stalwart to counter all of those top meta teams that were abusing redirection. Because that's what Stalwart does. I'm not saying Stamina is a bad ability, but I just find it funny when there are all of these fucking people in a metagame where, and Champions is the fucking same, and it amuses me, where it's like, Artralodon in Champions. Is the funniest thing because no one ignores redirection. It's the same thing, and it's the same argument. Where it is people bitching about all of these teams that abuse redirection, and all of these obnoxious redirection teams are so dumb and so skillless, and there's no way to stop them. How do you stop redirection? You can't do it. It's impossible. Run an Artralodon. Run Stalwart. And it's so funny because right now there are these top teams running around in Champions that are abusing redirection. And because they're abusing redirection, no one can fight these teams, and everyone's complaining that these teams are too broken and too brainless, and that there's no way to stop them, and they're fucking impossible. Except, you can just run an Artralodon with Stalwart. It is not that hard, guys. You don't need... And Champions is funny anyway, because they took Body Press from Artralodon. The only reason Stamina is good is you become hard to beat on the physical side. You don't even have Body Press. Now, if you want fighting coverage on an Artralodon, you're running Aura Sphere anyway. And here's a pro tip for you that, I would think more people would understand, because this should still be a fucking mechanic. Because it's the mechanic of Stalwart no one understands. That is the best mechanic, which is the coolest fucking shit. You ignore all forms of redirection, so if you click Electro Shot, and your opponent has a Lightning Rod mod, Electro Shot just straight out bypasses Lightning Rod. It won't hit Lightning Rod at all. So you can run a Stalwart set and have Electro Shot and ignore Lightning Rod, which is so fucking cool, but nobody is doing that. And that amuses me because that's actually really good, simple tech. Yeah, I get stamina. I'm not saying it's a bad ability. Stamina's useful. But if you forego stamina when there are all these redirection teams running around and Lightning Rod has become pretty common, what if I just say fuck your Lightning Rod? Because no one in their right mind would expect it. And because it ignores redirection, Follow Me doesn't work, Rage Powder doesn't work, and Ally Switch doesn't actually work either. And you people are complaining about these dumb teams that are so broken and so skillless that are abusing redirection, and all of you are like, wah, there's too much redirection, oh, there's no way to stop it, oh, and all of you are like, because it's 2 or 3 teams and one got popular by a YouTuber, it's like, oh, fuck that guy, I wish he had never come up with this team, it's on the ladder and it's impossible to stop, how do I stop redirection? You fucking can't, there's no way, this team is way too cheap, there's no way to stop redirection. Motherfucker, just run forward! Not that hard. And yeah, I'm getting slightly tilted. I was just continuing my rant. Because Stalwart ignores redirection. If a team that is caught. Because the argument, I get this, for the why you don't want to run Stalwart, except I do think because of the Lightning Rod thing, there's actually some really fun utility that you can do, which is hilarious. And that really fun utility your own Lightning Rod pulls your own electric moves. Because the Lightning Rod pulls all electric moves that get used. Your moves and your opponent. So, a lot of people are like, oh, Stalwart is too inconsistent. If you don't run into any redirection, it's like, oh, sure, it beats redirection, but if you don't see redirection, what is Stalwart doing? It does nothing. It's worthless. There's no reason to run it if you don't have redirection, because if there's no redirection, your ability is bad. Why would you run that? Build a team that has a Lightning Rod Pokemon on it and just Stalwart out of your own Lightning Rod. You can be hilarious. Like, you want to be really fucking funny with that. Like, lead Pelipper, lead Artralodon. You see, like, some common matchups where it's like, you lead Pelipper and you lead Artralodon. And you have a Lightning Rod Pokemon in the back. And you have Stalwart. So, you're fighting a Pokemon and it's just really funny because it's like you're fighting a Pokemon that Stalwart is really good at stopping, like opposing Lightning Rod. And you're facing something where you basically Stalwart away your own Lightning Rod and you use your own lightning rod to draw damage. So what we effectively end up with, our Tralodon can stalwart out of your own lightning rod. Your own lightning rod can pull your opponent's electric moves away, giving your own lightning rod Pokemon a +1, and your stalwart, like, since I, kind of went on this rant for most of the first sandwich here, I'll kind of stop. I'm just trying to offer decent advice because that's consistent. If you're that annoyed about Lightning Rod or Stalwart being bad, just build a team around Rain. Build a team around Rain. Have Lightning Rod support on your Rain team. And absolutely screw with people. Because there are people who are never going to completely think about what you're about to do. Because you can draw electric moves away from, like, Pelipper and stuff, while ignoring other Lightning Rod and your own. And that is actually not a bad thing. Because there are going to be people, and you can straight out confuse a lot of people if they know that Lightning Rod pulls your own moves, and they see you have a Lightning Rod Pokemon on a Rain team, and they see you have an Arch, they might think you're doing one of the riskiest kind of best of one ideas of not running Electro Shot, or if you are running it, that you're like a good example, because this would be the most confusing fucking best of one combination for that kind of nonsense. That you're trying to trick people, and if they think you're trying to trick them, their brain is going to work overtime. Sceptile on a Rain team with an Artralodon. Because if it is a Sceptile on a Rain team with an Artralodon, and I can walk through my logic here, and also if you really want to fuck with people, make that Sceptile Rain team with an Artralodon, put a, like, Swampert on that team as well. And if you really need to also continue to kind of fuck with people, put a Pikachu on that team. And the reason you want to do a Swampert, a Sceptile, and a Pikachu, Swampert, Sceptile, and Pikachu can all be Mega Evolutions. If Swampert is a Mega, it's Swift Swim. It's a Rain team, that could be a Mega Swampert. Non-Mega Swampert is a good support mine. If it's a Sceptile and it's a Mega, it's Lightning Rod. If it's a Sceptile and it's not Mega, then you're trying to abuse Sceptile's Unburden to catch people, which is a valid thing, because you might think it's the Mega, except it's Unburden, and it's not the Mega, and you're using an item to get an Unburden boost, because that would be a pretty fast mon at that point. There is a valid reason to do that, and then a Pikachu could also be a Mega Evolution. So, it is a rain team with like 3 potential Mega Evolutions on it. And if people know, and Pikachu could have Lightning Rod before Mega, and Sceptile could have Lightning Rod after. And this is going to be the reason you build this team in the way I'm suggesting, because you are doing this to make people incredibly confused, because if they know how Lightning Rod works, because if they know how Lightning Rod works, they know, like, Artralodon with Electro Shot could be pulled by the Mega Sceptile. Mega Sceptile with Lightning Rod would screw up Artralodon unless you're thinking they might be Stalwart, but that is kind of a big if. Swampert as a Mega could be Swift Swim, and next to an Arch would be bad unless the Arch clicks Protect and the Swampert clicks Earthquake, because the Arch protects, which is a thing. Pikachu could be Lightning Rod before it Megas. If it's a non-Mega, well, Pikachu or Raichu, I meant Raichu obviously, but so it's a Raichu, so it could Mega. And it could, you know, Lightning Rod before that, or be someone not running it as a Mega Evolution, specifically for the Lightning Rod, because that's also a good Focus Asmon at that point. And this team, half of it is Mega Evolutions. And because of the way everything works, the Mega Evolution you go with is the Sceptile. And the reason you go with the Sceptile like the complete reason you do that, if you have Lightning Rod, your electric moves would be pulled. So, Stalwart would ignore that, which should still work in Champions. Pretty sure that still fucking works. Because Champions didn't massively change how things work, and that's the thing about Stalwart, it ignores all redirection. Which also, yes, does mean it ignores Storm Drain as well. Just because. I know you don't get water moves, but like, same idea for a Pokemon with Stalwart with water, same deal. So, with the Sceptile Mega Evolution idea, if people are aware of Lightning Rod, and a lot of people, because they never use Stalwart ever, would think you're Stamina, or even if they think you might be Stalwart, they're probably not familiar enough with it to know it would ignore your own Lightning Rod, so you could actually trick people into thinking. You're, you know, not running Electro Shot, which a lot of people with Electro Shot will sometimes on other team comps, but then it's like you're in the rain, so Electro Shot seems obvious, but if you have Lightning Rod, Electro Shot seems counterintuitive. unless you're trying to trick people. And this is where, you know, the mind fuck comes from. Because most people would see that team comp and make broad fucking assumptions. And that is a logical sort of best of one cheese. And then Stalwart at that point is actually super consistent because that lets you have a rain team with Lightning Rod while not fucking yourself over. Then, and I'm finishing my little argument here. And then that goes back to the, oh, when there's no redirection, your set is worthless. Why would you run that? Because I'm putting redirection on my own team in the form of Lightning Rod. So I'm going to ignore my own redirection. And at that point, that's actually team synergy. Then you kind of need Stalwart because otherwise your own Lightning Rod screws you over. Do another sandwich. And at that point, you have to admit, like, you know, point there. That's good team synergy. That's not a bad idea. That's an actual well-constructed team. I want a Lightning Rod Pokemon on my Rain team. But if I run Lightning Rod, I can't click Electro Shot. Except I can run Stalwart, and I can totally fucking do that. That's not a bad team. Stalwart at that point is consistent. And I'm not gonna... I rambled, like, about that through the one entire sandwich. So kind of, you know, wrap that little ramble up. I just think it's an idea. And building... Like, final point on that, it's like, okay, so I'm running Stalwart on a Rain team with a Lightning Rod Pokemon. So, this specific team, Lightning Rod is counterintuitive unless I have Stalwart. And that's the thing about teams, especially in doubles. I'm running Stalwart because this Rain team would not function without it. Not that hard. That was how I was going to structure certain Rain teams. Now, with that said, I would rather do that when the Assault Vest existed. Because then, with the Assault Vest, that becomes... Stumbling over my words. With the Assault Vest, you can then just kind of always be doing damage. And you can get really obnoxious really fast. And the thing that makes the Assault Vest idea really good, especially if you give an Arch Dark Pult, because it's a dark move, you can hit Psychic types super effectively. And the reason that's a big deal, when redirection becomes really common, It's when people run Indeedee and they set Psychic Terrain and they follow me and try to set Trick Room. So if you have an Assault Vest set and you have, you know, Dark Pulse, a lot of the things next to Indeedee will be Psychic type. So you can ignore Indeedee, hit some Psychic types, or some Ghost types, because a lot of other Trick Room setters are Ghost. Also, even outside of that, Dark Pulse is good to have anyway, because Farigarath is pretty damn common as it is on a bunch of team comps anyway. So if you're trying to imprison Trick Room, like I constantly do, you might as well hit a Farigarath with some dark damage. And being able to hit a few problematic ghost types and stuff is always a plus. My idea with the whole ignoring Lightning Rod is cool. Like, there's logic and reason for the idea. It's not the weirdest idea. As I, kind of finish that ramble into this sandwich, I think I said my point. Because then your team comp is built around Stalwart. Like, it's not that hard to build a team around Stalwart if you do that Lightning Rod idea. And champions, eventually, they're going to put Indeedee back in the game. We're going to have Follow Me. We're going to have Trick Room. And we're going to have Obnoxious Nonsense. Because Indeedee, with Follow Me, is one of the best Trick Room supports. So, at that point, that's a really consistent solution to a problem. With that said, as my final point, just to repeat it one more time, stamina is useful, I get it, but, sometimes, maybe, instead of being stubborn, just embrace a solution to your problem. I make fun of competitive people a lot. And I've been seen as obnoxious for just offering some basic competitive tips or trying to help some people new to Pokemon understand the stats a little bit more. Like, and when it comes to competitive, because the stats and stuff in a competitive game obviously matter. Obviously. That's the minimum. Like, obviously, in competitive, stats matter. And obviously, crazy ideas would be bad. But at the same time, a Pokemon with a valid, useful ability that if you really want to feel like you're not wasting it, just team comp around it. Sorry about the disconnect. That's that one capture card error, not the stream. But basically, as I'm, wrapping up, and I kept saying that, it's like, there are valid ideas in Pokemon that you could try that are good without being incredibly crazy, and those valid ideas can have some interesting interactions if you really want to build a team around those ideas, and that's not that bad of an idea because then your team has synergy. All I'm saying there. And I'm just gonna go on a few rants. All kind of competitive related, because I'm just airing some of my grievances. Because of the way competitive people think. And then so many Pokemon being viewed as kind of bad or kind of middling. And then this stink with the Mega Evolutions is hilarious because people don't like a lot of the new Megas, especially ones that kept their ability. Even if keeping an ability can be useful. Malamar is one of my favorite funny examples because Malamar has Contrary. So its stat changes are reversed. Mega Malamar just keeps Contrary. And Mega Malamar is basically better Malamar. But because it's not a different ability and it's not that new and exciting, you have all of these people that just underestimate how good Malamar actually is. Because keeping that ability means you already have Contrary. So now that you Mega, you just have more Contrary. In my mind, that's a bonus. That's not a detriment, that's a good thing. Some radical ability changes are good, but here's a good, funny example of, like, ability changes that are, really funny. Like, Metagross comes to mind. Right? That was a person getting up. Regular Metagross has Clear Body. Clear Body prevents all stat drops. Mega Metagross gets Tough Claws, which is a stupidly good ability for damage, but if Mega Metagross you know, basically gets Tough Claws. Now you can drop its stats. And in the fun, hypocritical competitive world, because people will bitch and whine about, like, oh, Pokemon that keep their ability when they Mega are usually, like, let's be real here, guys, kind of doo-doo. Oh, Malamar keeps contrary. Big fucking whoop. That's not that great. Oh, as good as Tough Claws is, I kinda wish that thing would keep Clear Body. There are way too many stat drops in the meta. That's unfair. I kinda wish my Mega was stat drop proof. And yet, Malamar is dumb because it reverses stat drops. And being a Dark type means you can't Prankster it. Meaning, people can't use Prankster to do negative shit to your Malamar. But, because of the idiotic way Prankster works, you can actually side target your Pokemon, which in my opinion is dumb. And I don't like that. I kind of feel like that needs to be a detriment to Dark types. Dark types should be immune to Prankster from all aspects. The fact that you can side target your own Darkmon with Prankster moves, and it works, is fucking stupid. Your ally shouldn't be able to Prankster you. That should be the advantage of Dark types. That is a disadvantage. Because that's dumb, but Malamar at that point is really consistent. Need to get my corner. Like, at that point, the Malamar is not that bad. Because you can't drop its stats when it Megas. A Mega Evolution that you can drop the stats of after it Megas. Metagross is a good example, because Mega Metagross... Oh no, Mega Metagross is like strong as fuck, but... now that it's vulnerable to stat drops... you can catch people. Yeah, I backed up into the corner and then I started getting the crazy spawn. I don't always get those clusters, unfortunately, but when you do get those are the great clusters. Even if I'm standing back here, something that does take a minute. But I just find it funny, because there's a lot of people. And this, to me, is just competitive hypocrisy of... you all think something like Malamar is so boring. But then a lot of you... oh, as good as Tough Claws is, I kinda wish Mega Meta... oh. Sorry. Thanks for the raid. saw an alert and I had to kind of stop. Finishing that little joke point I was making sort of in the middle there, I just find it kind of funny. Where people talk about, like, Mega Evolutions keeping an ability is bad. But then a lot of people, because Mega Metagross loses Clear Body, were like, oh, I kind of wish it would keep it, because it's like, oh, Tough Claws is good for damage, but it's like, oh, in Champions, as soon as I Mega my Metagross, people keep dropping its stats, and I'm getting really annoyed about that. I just find that kind of funny. Some Pokemon keeping their abilities is not the worst thing. With that said, I mean, the Metagross damage increase is great, but I just find it kind of funny that a lot of people were like, you know, maybe Metagross should have kept Clear Body. So he's just on that kind of little mini rant just because I find it amusing. As I see if I can get a marked shiny just by hiding in this corner. Twitch Raid or not, to finish the reason I, was talking about that, like, I'm not saying Mega Malamar is the best Pokemon ever, but Contrary into Contrary means you can just do more Contrary. So there are merits on an ability like Contrary, where you started with it and you keep it. That is consistent. That's sort of what I was about to say before I saw the ping, thought someone commented. Then it was the raid alert, and then I heard it go off. Sometimes keeping an ability just means the Pokemon can keep doing stuff. Phalanx is actually a good similar example. It keeps Defiant, but that means after you Mega Evolve, you still have Defiant, which is also, in my mind, a decent, fair trade-off, because Defiant on that thing is pretty good, and keeping Defiant isn't a bad random thing. Again, I'm not saying it's the greatest Mega of all time. I was just merely pointing out why I think keeping an ability can be okay, because Defiant is such a unique ability. Because if the Phalanx lost Defiant, dropping its stats would then be less of a risk. So yeah, that's my short ramble with that. It's, the follow-up of the other ramble I went on. Since I'm just talking to keep focus. Might as well. Because otherwise, if I'm not just saying random stuff, I'm just opening the picnic and jumping like a crazy person. Now, since I turned it into a topic, Mega Evolution's changing abilities. I'm not saying that's bad. Damn it. Changing an ability can be good in and of itself. Swampert gets Swift Swim. That ability change means a Swampert can be a really good Rain Sweeper. That's not a bad change. And I do like when some Pokemon as a Mega Evolution can fit slightly different roles or just have some other unique properties. Mega Swampert is a really good Pokemon in the rain. There's a good, reason to Mega Evolve it and put it on a rain team. That's just a good Rain Sweeper. But some Pokemon, keeping an ability is not necessarily bad if keeping an ability lets a Pokemon continue, doing what it was doing. So I just went on a little mini ramble so I could talk about something. Other good reason to do that anyway, it showed people the mic was on. I don't mind if people talk, I don't mind if people lurk, if people want to say something, they can. They don't have to. I welcome questions and everything. People can start topics, because when I shiny hunt, I'll sometimes start a topic, but I'm usually locked in so I can focus, especially if the shiny is hard to notice. This is at least a, pretty good, obvious, shiny. Talk about the shiny mon in this stream. It's a nice pink color. And because the color is nice and obvious, one, I like that pink color anyway, but two, my whole thing with this, even outside of actually really liking this color, if I'm sitting here and a shiny spawns, that shiny would be nice and simple to notice, which I like. I don't like when a shiny is hard to notice. A lot of shinies, unfortunately, are hard to notice. Simple to notice shinies are always a plus. I'm just looking. Doing the jumping thing so I can see behind the rock. Give it a couple of jumps. If I get some clusters, that's cool. The color in here, nice and noticeable. So this is a simple shiny to spot, which is good. Wouldn't be, a convoluted hunt it really hasn't been. Just a lot of nonsense. Dude that did that raid and lurked a minute left, but that's fine. I mean, I ramble, but I'm trying to be real, even if I'm rambling like a lunatic. If I get people, I really do need to lock in more if I get a raid, or try to engage with some questions and stuff. But I just, get hyper-focused because I don't want to be sitting here talking too much. This would have been an easier asking oh, thanks for the raid, how are you doing kind of thing. I'll say the thing I've said before. I crack this as a joke a lot, but I do mean it. We might be kind of awkward at points, but we are real. And I think there is some merit in being real. We're both unfiltered as fuck, basically. And in an age of nonsense, like, and if I'm just, going on a couple of random rants that just come to mind. One other rant that was on my mind, and and I know some people mean well, but like, with a YouTube channel and everything, all I do for sandwich is about to end, no shiny. I'm actually gonna hold that point because I'm gonna go pee again. I can come back, make that point. Where's my new pee? know the be right back thing is still up. I know it is. What I was going to say? What I was basically going to say? Because... Alright. Adjusting something. I know a lot of these people mean well. I've talked a little bit about this before. It was people that mean well in a lot of ways and saw the YouTube channel and wanted to try and help. Except so many of these people that say they want to help, first of all, they talk about like, oh, looking at the YouTube channel, it's like, if they actually check out the content, even if these people are just doing this to try to get me to spend money, it's like, oh, your content is great, but you need to be paying a commission artist to make a custom thumbnail for every one of your videos. You're probably not getting the views you would get if you had these awesome custom thumbnails. Or I'll get these like, oh, for your like YouTube and Twitch channel, it's like, here's a link to like a Twitch guru. And the Twitch guru, if you pay them money, will basically look at your Twitch and YouTube channel and they will basically help you garner an audience by giving you tips to improve, and they'll also help you, and like the guru will also help advertise on your behalf to get people that are interested in your content into your streams and on your YouTube channel. And I know a lot of these people, if they're being earnest, they mean well. Alright, thought I'd adjust my headphones. I know a lot of these people, if they're being earnest, they mean well. I know they do. If they're not being earnest, they're just trying to butter me up to sell me crap, which pisses me off. Because that is the most obnoxious thing in general. Are people that basically hit me up and when they hit me up, like, they do that earnest advice thing, except a lot of times they're really pushy with some guru or some commission artist. It feels like you're either promoting a friend or you're promoting yourself. And if you're promoting yourself, you're pretending like this is just an awesome commission artist that is totally cheap and affordable and would make awesome thumbnails if I would just give them money. Except the awesome commission artist is you. And you're promoting the awesome commission artist with a Discord link where, well, you're using a Discord account to promote this awesome commission artist, except that Discord is just a secret alt of yours that you use to push your crap, especially if you're a smaller artist. And what I was going to say, and I get it, it is unfortunate that stupid kind of clickbaity thumbnails work as well as they fucking do, but at the same time, I feel like our thumbnails on the YouTube channel should honestly be praised, because while they're kind of generic and safe and in some cases boring, it is the title of the game, the part number, and a screenshot from the game. And the screenshot from the game is something in the video. Which is why, if the thumbnail is ever something weird, and it looks like clickbait, it's usually me taking a screen cap of an editing joke I did, which is often more eye-catching, but you can't technically call it clickbait. Because if you watch the damn video, you could see what the editing joke was. And every now and again, sometimes I get slightly more creative on thumbnails. I've done that before, but at the same time, I think my thumbnails should be appreciated in an age of just all this clickbait, which unfortunately works way too well. AI slop and all of these people really pushing for, or like, in an age of AI slop, clickbait, or all of these people doing commission work to get some crazy thumbnail that would stand out a little bit, I think our thumbnails are honest and really should be appreciated, because what I have decided for YouTube and Twitch, and I have made this, at this point, it's an aesthetic choice, and that aesthetic is simplicity without the fluff. And while that's not attracting a lot of viewers, and unfortunately over the years never really has, I feel like eventually the right people are going to see the channel and stuff, see the simplicity, and actively realize, in all this age of slop, this is a person that uploaded content. I could say people. I do the editing and stuff, but person does play some games sometimes. It's my channel technically, but person pops up in, you know, commentary a lot. Sometimes person plays some stuff. So I do all the editing and everything, and eventually I feel like some people... Hold on. About to adjust my chair. Just making an adjustment to the seat. Hold on. Did it? Okay, hold on. That'll probably do it. Okay. So, I feel like eventually our channel, the right people, will notice what we're doing, and I'm now making my aesthetic here, or our aesthetic, simple to the point. No stupid full clickbait stuff. Some of my joke titles might be clickbait light, or the thumbnail looks incredibly weird because it's a screenshot, because I did some editing joke. So the screenshot of a random Let's Play part is some editing joke. And if that's the case, that's clickbait adjacent, or I pick a screenshot that would be eye-catching, that you can't call clickbait because it's in the damn video game. But I think eventually there's going to be this sort of renaissance, I'm hoping anyway, where I kind of, and I've wanted this, and I've talked about this for years. I was hoping with the Twitch that I could maybe build up some fans that are here to talk instead of just me and Carson rambling during YouTube or rambling on stream with no one here. That I could basically, if we attracted some people and I get some support for the YouTube channel, some people that maybe realized we're being earnest and simple, and for years I have wanted to basically see a renaissance of people that want just a simple, to the point, like, video game playthrough with no clickbait and no bullshit, and maybe an occasional editing joke. Because I used to try to force editing jokes and memes on videos, and a lot of our older videos are full of that crap. Because I was trying to copy what some other people were doing. Except then I realized this is kind of obnoxious. And an occasional meme is funny. Because if you do a meme occasionally, if you do memes all the time, people expect memes all the time. But if you do a dumb occasional meme, your dumb occasional meme can be really fun. And then years ago, I decided, yeah, I'm going to stop trying to force memes and stuff. And even back then, before this modern age of crappy AI stuff, I wanted the Let's Play channel, which was before really messing with streaming and stuff. I wanted just simple content. That was just, straightforward and to the point. Okay, yeah. Seems like if I'm a little bit ahead, I need to back up. I can force a lot of spawns. If I don't get spawns immediately, I need to try that backing up thing. Yeah, if you back up just a bit. And it just inch forward. Okay. That's pretty consistent. But, like, I wanted this years ago. Just kind of a renaissance of people that just appreciate simple, like, base editing on playthroughs and stuff. Yeah, okay. That is how it works. Okay, yeah, no, that's consistent. I just shouldn't be doing that more. If I don't get immediate spawns, I need to just back the fuck up and then they pop up. Yep. Seeing what appeared. Smaller group, that's fine. But basically, to, you know, finish that ramble, because I didn't say what I was trying to say, I just wanted a renaissance of people that sort of appreciate a channel being simple, not doing dumb shit, not going for clickbait, just us and simple, straightforward nonsense. And I do feel like it's just going to take the right people, but there's going to be for our channel this big sort of renaissance of people that realize we're just effectively doing what we do. And what we do would just be, you know, simple, no frills let's plays. Just playing some stuff we want to play. Streaming some stuff we want to stream. Yeah, that does. And my hope really was that eventually some people would kind of come back around to just simple, straightforward content. Just some people playing a game. You know, the simple joys of just playing a game without doing some stupid challenge or whatever. Not that a dumb challenge or two is not fun. And a lot of dumb challenges can be fun to watch, and if you're trying a dumb challenge, there is some simple, really fun joy in trying some challenges if you're familiar with the game. Maybe a game you played a bunch. And your challenge is you playing a game you've played a bunch in a dumb creative way. That kind of stuff is cool in its own right, but I just hoped that one day the right people would appreciate, you know, us just playing some games, doing what we do without clickbaity bullshit. That's, kind of an extra ramble, because, like, we're just trying to be honest, because we're just, having some fun, playing some games. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Because I hate that because of the way YouTube works with the algorithm, everything has to be clickbait, or everything has to be a challenge, or everything has to be some form of drama, even though most drama things are kind of clickbait by proxy. Everything needs to be negative. And we can't have just good, earnest playthroughs on YouTube and stuff unless there's a dumb gimmick attached, or you're one of the legacy channels where you can do playthroughs because you're a trusted legacy channel, even though your content and my content are very similar. But oh, I started content after you, so my content is pointless and bad, and I'm just ripping you off. And oh, playthroughs and stuff on YouTube are dead. There are people who do not do playthroughs anymore. You can't do playthroughs except for the legacy channels, but they get to do playthroughs because that's their legacy. And I hate the rules for thee, but not for me bullshit. Oh no, Let's Plays on YouTube are dead. Don't do Let's Plays. Let's Plays are dead. Let's Plays don't get views anymore. Why are you doing Let's Plays? You're dumb. Don't do Let's Plays. If you do Let's Plays, you'll get like negative views. No one should be doing Let's Plays. It's like, oh, what about, this guy? Oh, he's been doing Let's Plays his entire YouTube career. He gets to do Let's Plays because he was one of the first successful channels. Legacy rules are dumb. And I'm not saying that a lot of these people don't put effort in. I'm not trying to say that, but a lot of these Let's Play people that still garner a decent audience do the same kind of shit we're doing. I edit and everything. Like, and look, again, there are certain people, and I'm not saying their channels are bad, Because that's the thing. That's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of this, is you'll get people, it's like, oh, you're just jealous, or oh, this person puts in more effort than you do, or this, that, or whatever the fuck. It's like, all I'm saying is, I'm doing some similar content to a lot of these people. And they only get to create that content because it's a fucking legacy thing. And I hate legacy rules. Because legacy rules are the dumbest fucking nonsense to me. Got a little bit too much away from this. Taking a stretch for a minute because I'm sitting. Ow, ow. Oh my god. Like, look, again, I'm not knocking a lot of these people, even if some of these people are personalities I can't stand, or people that have opinions I also can't stand, or just other certain rules that I think are a little bit too stupid. You know? Okay, going back. I'm not gonna mudsling or name names or anything. It's just kind of my ramble there. It's like, legacy on YouTube just always kind of irked me. Like, there were people on YouTube that were popular, to just finish that point, popular for one kind of thing, and those people to this day make, you know, certain types of content, and if anyone tries to make that type of content in this day and age, you'll be told that type of content is bad because, oh, there's not a lot of people doing that, or oh, that type of content is not something people are looking for. But then you'll point out, you know, certain YouTube channels, and then it's like, oh, they're an exception because they were doing this for like a decade. That's just the kind of stuff that bothered me for my little just YouTube ramble. Because I'm just rambling about stuff so I can focus on things. Because if I'm not rambling, I'm just kind of quiet. It's just, you know, the shiny hunt. I know some people prefer, like, kind of quiet shiny hunts, but this is a live stream, so I'm just trying to ramble, so as people appear or whatever, whether they're lurking or say something, they can at least hear me if I'm talking. Maybe say hi. If I see a chat message, I'll read it. When I'm shiny hunting, I get in the zone, and I will randomly mention if people show up and they want to start talking. Feel free to. You can start a topic if you show up and you want to. People can lurk. I'm okay with that. But if people are here and they want to start a chat, I will answer questions because I do have a sort of notorious issue of basically, not really, I wouldn't call it ignoring, would be like, someone says hi, and I notice the message. I respond to it. And because of the person I responded to, I do respond. But because I'm focusing, and I don't think about trying to keep engaging with a person, I'm just rambling about my own nonsense or talking about the game. It can make it look like I'm not engaging with chat, but the people will say like hi and like how are you doing or something. I'll say hi, and I do need to get better about trying to talk and be more engaging with people. Say hi in the chat and stuff, but when we're streaming and stuff, and I get hyper focused, it's sometimes hard to hold a conversation. Should try to get better about that. So, even if people are here and they want to say something, I welcome that. No one has to say anything. I just say my nonsense, repeat some stuff. For this, let me get like right here in this corner. Yeah, and if you get right in the div, you can often get good opportunity of getting the high spawns. Okay. Unfortunately, nothing. Reset. Start another sandwich. Yeah, I'm like right in that dent. Because to do this consistently, you need to get in the little indent. You need to hope the RNG basically favors. Because if you're only doing resets in this room and you're not checking the whole cavern, just trying to maximize the odds, I feel like it's not going to take that many sandwiches to get this in here. Now that I've done this a couple of times and it's less awkward. Because you can get the clusters. kind of back up like that. Just kind of give it a minute. You can get a few. If you're like right in that indent, you can picnic. If you back it up right, you'll get some spawns. Just kind of move. Even if I don't get the big clusters. That is the one thing about this. Backing up. Hiding in that little indent. You don't always get sort of the full spawns. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And by full spawns, I mean, you run over here too. That can sometimes cause some stuff. This is the best spot though. Generally the best spot. Yeah, for that reason. Because you wiggle right. That's when you start getting the big clusters. Seems like I need to be like before the corner. Need to kind of walk forward, turn around, walk backwards. Okay, that actually does seem to consistently trigger them. It's hilarious. So if that's the case, I need to move forward a bit. Make the picnic, walk forward, turn around, walk backwards. Walk forward, turn around. That at least gets me little localized groups. Okay, cool. No shiny, but yeah. I mean, obviously no shiny. Definitely not a marked shiny, but just trying to get the logistics of getting the spawns to be consistent. That seems to, yeah, at least get something. You want to do, if you're on it, you can do a picnic like every time. use the bathroom again. I hate doing that in the middle of a sandwich. Man. taken care of, Earthen.
Oh, they'll come back.
I know they will.
Well, if you put like vinegar or something down, they will come back almost immediately.
No, I got rid of most of the horde. I pumped in the kitchen for a minute. Got rid of most of that horde. I know a few swarms will come back. I'm aware of that. Trying to pick the stream back up because I needed to pee, but I also went in the kitchen. That delayed me. Oh, Jesus Christ, okay. Let me adjust my hair because of a fan. Okay. Just needed that bathroom break and just a tiny extra break for a bonus minute. Then went in the kitchen. Just a microsecond. Now that I got that fan more directly on me and I took a small break. Always going anywhere. Sometimes if I walk off for an extended period of time, I'll grab a small, cheeky snack, which is what happened, but I just ate that in the kitchen, basically. Instead of sitting here and eating on the mic, I can admit to that. I mean, I can admit to that. A lot of people, and they stream will basically grab a snack, come back, make a point that they grab like a snack and are quickly gonna eat like a cookie or something. Because it's never a bad idea to snack on some stuff. Just didn't want to do that on the microphone. I mean, I know I could have muted the mic if I wanted to sit here for a minute. Eat a small snack, but I was just in the other room basically did that, so it's fine. Trying to hopefully get this mark. Shiny in a reasonable time frame. I mean, it's all RNG. Any shiny hunt is all RNG. This is just a good spot to reset for these. So I could ideally get this. I like the small clusters, and bigger clusters are also great, but it just kind of wiggle around in the wall crevice. Yeah, if I sort of go forward and sort of back up, it seems to be how to do this consistently. Walk forward a bit. Just kind of, instead of, starting in the thing, backing up. Seeing what I get. Because that is the one issue, is I don't get the clusters every time. I can get small groups, and then sometimes get the larger ones. If I do that, I need to pay attention to the side too. Sometimes you can get the stuff on the side. That's a pretty good cluster, and I walked forward for that one. One Mudkip. Nothing to the side. corner spot, but I only got 2. I mean, that's a good cluster. Centering a little bit. Seems to help a little bit even. Even that sometimes just doesn't work. Those are the groups I need. Yeah, that's pretty good. Check the case. No shiny. Out the spot. Back it up just a little bit. That's a pretty good cluster. Back it up just a little bit. That's a few. Trying to get more to spawn. If I don't get big clusters, I can just do this. Kind of walk around on that incline. Can at least get a few in the room. Shop. Nothing super good. This is probably how I should do this. Make the sandwich, back up, see if I get a cluster. If I don't get a cluster, if I get 2 or 3, see if the shinies in the 2 or 3. If not, reset. Because if I don't get the big clusters and I waste time trying to get them to spawn, it just doesn't work. But anything spawning to be shiny. Those are the clusters I need. Decent cluster. Decent little mini group. Small group. Bigger group, that's good. At this point, I'm just trying to see what spawns. If I get a large group, if I don't get a large group, but immediately picnic back. Okay. Okay. Mini crossover. Jump. Just in case. There's one behind the rock. Looking for it though. And I get one of the big clusters again. Good. It seems like sometimes if I wait like a few seconds, I might. If I just kind of walk around, I get the sweet spot. It's not immediate. Kind of walk around like right here. It seems to force slightly more. One of them kind of on that incline. Seems like I can force slightly more. It doesn't always happen, but I'm noticing it seems to be pretty consistent as long as you kind of. This is reset again. New sandwich. Everything is like consistency wise. This isn't super bad or convoluted. And spawn rate is pretty decent if I just fiddle around. With some luck, shouldn't take that many sandwiches to get a marked shiny down here. Yeah, because even this spot off at the beginning, pretty good cluster. Let's kind of angle the camera. Trying to stay right here-ish. Jump with you guys. Smaller group, no big deal. Yeah, that's a good cluster. Yay. Small group. Give it a second. See if I get any extras. It's like, no, it's fine. Okay. Not a big cluster, but it's fine. Just maximize my resets. Decent group. Really decent group. Shiny though. Damn. Sneezing. Yeah. Decent small group. Okay. That'll do it. Smaller spawns. It's fine though. At least it's a noticeable shiny. If it appears, if you do the test. targeting. Okay. Chop case. Nope. It's fine now. I mean, at this point, I'm just running back and forth, doing the thing. Sort of only a matter of time. Real is the way. cluster. That's great. Even if I don't get what I need, those clusters are great. Realistically, only going to be a matter of resets. Smaller group here. Large group. Ish. Just gotta lock the fuck in. That's what we're doing. Cluster again. Nice. I'm curious if what seems to maybe trigger that more consistently is running around on the wall up here. Okay, I think I found the fucking secret. I gotta run on that. Gotta run up the incline like a crazy person. Okay, that seems to be consistent, so I'm on the incline. So if I reset the sandwich, I might move back to this little incline so I can just stay right here to start. Yeah, if I'm kind of hugging the, oh my god. Oh, wait, there's Johnny. Might be Mark. Might. Oh, it's Mark. Cool, hold on. The hunt be over. Arrgh. I was just gonna catch this thing. That didn't take that long. Hi, bud. Sweet. Okay, this hunt part didn't take that long. The other hunt that failed, I found some shinies. They just weren't marked. If I catch this thing, I could still run out a sandwich. I did that. For the Pokeball! Well, it's not really a color match, it's complimentary. I like the dive ball. Good as gold, bitch. The problem is not doing damage. Because it is full health. But it's kind of just a matter of Waiting for the crit catch. Or the full catch. Because nothing in the party. Should have brought the... I have the save if I need to reset, which would undo the sandwich, but this will be the marked shiny. If I do reset, I can change my party, because I have a Pokemon that would be able to paralyze this thing and do some damage. If I get close to running out of dive balls, I will probably just reset. Do that idea. Which might end up happening. Which would be fine, because I found the marked shiny. The fact that I haven't got a crit catch. Yep, there it goes. I'll buy more dive balls after this. Yeah, it's got the mark. Temporarily do that so I can have Finn. I will run out the sandwich. Okay, yeah, the clustering on the wall works consistently. So you can make a picnic at the bottom of the slope. And just run up the slope like a crazy person. Yeah, that is actually, okay. That's consistent. I might get another shiny, might not. If not, it's fine. You can get more dive balls after the fact. If I got another shiny, we kind of hope for another marked shiny. Because eventually, if I want to mess with this thing as a rain sweeper in champions, I'll have to come back for a duplicate. Had ideas for a non-mega Swampert. mean, Mega Swampert is, in and of itself, cool, and I'll probably... after grinding more stuff, come back for another Mark Shiny, unless I happen to get one in a minute, which would be cool. Which, I mean, could happen. I could get another Mark Shiny. It might happen. I mean, I got it, which is good, so... this really didn't take that long, and I now know how to optimize this. For coming back, getting a rain sweeper version of this thing, which if I do some grinding, I might do extra hunt, even if I don't use it immediately. Do some grinding, come back. Because the next stream in this game I do will probably be grinding some raids so I can try to get Salty Herb and Mystica again. And then maybe immediately getting an extra Mudkip. Sandwich is almost over. Sandwich ends. See what mark we got. And end off. So the next duplicate hunt for a mega set wouldn't be that bad, but it'll just be more of this, which again, not that bad. This was still one of the better hunts. So I'm gonna get this thing, check the mark, do a nickname. I actually have a nickname in mind this time. As a silly joke. And then it'll just be a matter of other things, but I mean, this hunt, in my opinion, went pretty damn well, all things considered. I know this is technically the second part, but even accounting for the other part of the hunt, I still think all in all, this was pretty good. I've done hunts way longer than this. If the stream didn't crash, which would be a long stream, but it would have been one stream. I still got this in a single try, in the sense of I started streaming, didn't get it because the stream crashed. But if this was part of that stream, I would have got this, and that's not that many hours. Relatively speaking, anyway. I've spent collective days on streams, knocking this out in around 6 hours. Now, it would have been less, because part of that was meandering, getting kind of confused on how to get the Mudkip to spawn correctly, because I used a video from the Switch 1, where you kind of have to go backwards and kind of wiggle in the corners, but on the Switch 2, I found some slightly different positioning, which is what I started doing when I got the mark. Because you can see, if I wiggle like that and kind of jump, it's pretty good. And you get the big clusters. But I mean, I got the shiny, so... Because I want marked shinies for variety of just saying I spent some extra time to get the mark. More so because I like seeing what marks I end up with, because it's usually the weather marks and stuff, but... For a lot of these, I've started because eventually, if I'm just doing marked shiny hunts, logic dictates my marked shinies will eventually have some of the weird personality marks. And I was starting to see some of those, but if I'm not hunting for a specific mark, which I never am outside of the hunt I did on my birthday, just to get the birthday special mark. Otherwise, I just go with whatever we end up with. Okay, sandwich is about to end. So I'll just fly back to the main game. Got my one shiny, going to save, going to nickname. Okay. Then I'm going to do my outro, download these streams and stop. See what the mark I got is. Put her back in case I do some raids. Mudkip. Just ended up like... Brave Nature, that's funny. It's a shame the person lurking left like right before I found this motherfucker. Ah! Uncommon again. Getting a lot of the uncommon marks, that's hilarious. Damn it, Curzon. Damn it, Curzon! Curzon's in the bed, and I'm trying to wrap up. I don't know if you heard. That doesn't make it uncommon. What do you mean? So what if, like, most of my marked shinies are the uncommon mark? I don't see what your problem is. You act like there's an issue here. It's uncommon. Even though I've rolled the uncommon mark on. I have the uncommon mark on this Mudkip. Got it on Bernie. Got it on Whiteout, Mr. White, because both of the Grimmsnarls rolled it. Have it on that other shiny I never named that I got during my birthday stream. It's the uncommon mark, but I keep rolling it. I don't see what your problem is. Okay. Now I just want to check the silly spelling of something, which should fit. I'm nicknaming this thing and then we're stopping. Had a jokey nickname in mind, I just need to... It's only gonna take a second. Should have wrote this down. Oh. Okay. That was how you spelled that. I'm not insane! Pretty sure this fits. Oh yeah, it does. Ah, it fits. Yes. That came to me before stream, and I was hoping that would fit. I'm so happy that fits. Oh, another uncommon mark, so that's pretty cool. Like, I just roll to see whatever marks I end up with, which usually ends up the weather ones, but I've got a few uncommon marks. Okay, I say usually the weather, but I get the time of day marks before I stop. Get the time of day marks a lot because those are the most common because I'm not going for specific marks. And I don't care if... Let me... Wait, no. Alright, yeah. Heal. Then I'm going to save again. I will do the EV training later, but basically, for the marks, because I don't care about the titles, I just see what we end up with, just to see the Pokemon. I do have some duplicates, because it's usually the time of day marks. I got a couple of weather. Uncommon has rolled more than I thought it would, which is hilarious. Now, with that said, to counter what Curzon said before I stop, because I looked into this, and it made sense. Curzon made a joke like, oh, well, it doesn't seem that uncommon, except the reason it's the uncommon mark, it is rarer than the weather and time of day marks, but it is not as rare as the role personality marks. So the reason it is uncommon because its rate of commonality is right in the fucking middle, because that basically means you are more likely to roll that than a raw personality, but you're less likely to roll uncommon than you would time of day or weather. And when you explain it that way, the uncommon title is because it is like there's like 41, 42 different marks, somewhere in that ballpark. Now, there can only ever be one time of day and one weather mark. So when you count the number of... Let me... Before stopping... I want to get the exact number before ending off. You have the Destiny mark on your birthday, and then there's the marks that are unique to other events. Item Finder mark is the treasure hunter. You can get that by picking up items at random, so any Pokemon can get that. Gourmet happens randomly when you make sandwiches. The Jumbo mark is if a Pokemon is maximum size. The Mightiest mark is if you beat a 7-star raid. The Mini mark is if you get the smallest size. The Partner mark is 1 in 100 for every 10,000 steps you take, so anything can get that. The Titan mark are on those Titan Pokemon that are tiny, where you can go catch the Titans. And then if you move a Pokemon from Legends and it's an Alpha, you get the former Alpha. But then the number of other marks, counting them all, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. Yeah, it is. I had the number right. It is 41 naturally. But out of the 41 available natural marks, because weather and time cannot overlap, the time of day marks are lunchtime, sleepy, dusk, and dawn. So 41, I'm going to say this in 40, 39, 38. If you took them all away, that would be 37, but since only one can exist, that's 38. If you took away all but one of the weather, 38, 37, 36, 35, 34, 33, 32. So it is 32 marks, where the uncommon mark is there's the rare mark, which that's the one that is crazy rare, and I sometimes get rare and uncommon mixed up. The uncommon mark, actually double checking, because I said the wrong thing, because I've done this a few times. Uncommon is actually, and this would actually explain the rules, uncommon is the same chance as weather or time. So of course it would be listed as uncommon, because that means you're looking at, on average, if it's weather, it would not be uncommon. If it's time, it would not be uncommon, and that would explain rolling that a few times. Whereas the rare mark is the one that's the middle ground, and then the personalities are the rarest. So the reason the uncommon mark is uncommon, you would have to get that mark in the place of your time of day or weather. So if weather isn't happening, then it's that versus time of day, and then the rare mark is the weird one because that's the middle ground. But I'm about to end. I had the that actually explains why we keep getting uncommon. But it would still be listed as uncommon because you're still middle grounding a match of, if it's weather, it's not uncommon. If it's time of day, it's not uncommon. So you have to think about, there's always, with the time of day and weather, if there's no weather and it's just time of day, uncommon versus time of day, that is a 50-50 dice roll on those odds together versus every other mark in the game having a chance to potentially exist. But with that said, this is going on YouTube. The failed attempt will probably go on YouTube because that started one of my rants. I kind of finished in this, but I'm going to do the combination outro then. So, as always, I become the beggar and the vagabond, where I'm standing on the street corner. I flip over an empty hat, I open an empty guitar case, and I shake my cup of change. Also, I'm about to cough. For YouTube, it's like, comment, and subscribe. Can you spare a like? Comment and subscribe. For Twitch, it's follow. Can you spare a follow? On YouTube, we don't have, you know, like, any specific nonsense with the YouTube channel other than just posting my stream archives and our Let's Plays. And on YouTube specifically, that helps the algorithm, helps our communities, is what I was trying to say. If YouTube notices subscriptions, they look at a video, and if it gets a bunch of views and you gain a bunch of subscriptions, they heavily promote that video. My outro got kind of confused there. On Twitch, we don't have affiliate at the moment. So, if you're on YouTube and you're watching this, you could support the Twitch and maybe help us reach affiliate, and then reaching affiliate, the next goal would theoretically, you know, build up to partner if it happened. But I'm jumping back and forth, but the Shield Train Express has rolled into the station. All aboard the Shield Train Express. For YouTube, as I always say, and for Twitch, my one joke, choo-choo motherfuckers, but YouTube first. In the pinned comment, in the video description, or my social media links, you can talk to me and follow me, or whatever the following equivalent is on social media. That also helps our communities grow. There's a link to the Twitch channel on YouTube. YouTube has a link on Twitch. Twitch has a widget limit. There's also a link to the Patreon. I did put a Twitch widget for that. If you feel inclined. I talked about our mother having some surgery. She'll go back to work soon, but money had been kind of tight, and because of just the world being kind of fucked, some of the hard drives I was looking at are crazy expensive. So, getting me some money, I could buy some hard drives and stuff I need, because the big hard drives that have a ton of storage I was looking at are around $500 on the cheap end and closer to $1,000 on the more expensive end. All those AI data centers and stuff have fucked with a lot of chips and parts. I don't want to make people feel obligated, but some money would be great. If you want to help, and please do not feel obligated, but if I got extra money, I could spend some money, because I'm going to need a hard drive soon-ish. Which is unfortunate, but With that said, now departing the Shield Train Express. Goodbye, motherfuckers. If you watched this on YouTube, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you watched this on Twitch, I hope you all enjoyed the stream. Whether you popped up live, whether you lurked, or if you're watching the VOD while that's a thing. But either way, I hope I will see you all next time. So as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, everybody. I hope you come back someday. See you later.